In this video, I'm going to discuss how you can use your child maintenance to help you when applying for a mortgage. Child maintenance is a payment that's made between parents, usually where the parents have separated or they don't live together anymore, or potentially they've never lived together. It's set up to help with the child's living costs. If you are the person who's receiving the child maintenance, then potentially this can be used to help you with the affordability of a mortgage. Each lender has a slightly different way of assessing what needs to be in place to use child maintenance for a mortgage. Some lenders will require that there's a court order in place. They'll need to see a copy of that court order, and they would usually want to see bank statements showing that the payment is still being made. And if any of those can't be provided, it's unlikely that those lenders would use any of the maintenance at all. Some lenders have a slightly more relaxed approach to it, so some will be happy to take individual agreements between the two parties, and what they need to see in those scenarios is generally just bank statements showing that the maintenance is being paid regularly. That could be 3 months bank statements, 6 months bank statements, or potentially up to 12 months bank statements, depending on the individual lender. Every lender assesses affordability slightly differently. When it comes to maintenance, each of the lenders will use a different amount of the maintenance they receive based on their own rules and criteria. So some lenders will utilise 100% of the maintenance you receive. Some lenders will restrict that down to potentially 60%, 50%, or sometimes even lower than that. Because it's quite a complex calculation how lenders work out how much somebody can afford, it's always worth getting advice from a broker, as they can look at the overall picture, taking into account the maintenance, to make sure you're getting the most that you can or the most that you need from the lenders that you're looking at. One of the big things the lenders like when it comes to maintenance is consistency. So lenders will ask for bank statements to show maintenance payments being paid. They like to see that the frequency of those payments is regular, and also that the amount of those payments is consistent. So they want to check that it's the same payment that's being made every month. They don't like it where it would fluctuate up and down, and they also want to check that there's been no payments that have been missed. The reason for this is they're allowing you to use that for affordability, and if that payment is sporadic or not a consistent amount, it might have a detrimental impact on the ability to pay the mortgage. The other thing that the lenders really want to know when it comes to maintenance is how old the children are. So it's unlikely, as the children get older, that the lender would be happy to utilise all of the maintenance without a backup plan in place for what that individual is going to do when the maintenance stops as the children get older. Child maintenance can potentially be used when assessing affordability for a mortgage. However, due to the complex nature of the fact that not all lenders will use child maintenance, some lenders will only use a reduced proportion of the maintenance, and some will require very specific documentation and circumstances to be able to use it. We would always recommend that you get advice from a trusted broker who will guide you through the process and make sure that you can utilise the income that you need to get the application through and the mortgage that you require.